So this is actually my second attempt at making this video, but the first video I just kept rambling and rambling and it kept snowballing because I had so much emotion and so much I wanted to say. This time I decided to actually organize my thoughts. As you can see, I have quite a few things to touch on in this video. But hello, my name is Nicole and welcome to my channel. Personally, I don't think this game was a total flop. Did it make me really angry? Yes. But did it make me want to cut up my disc like that one Twitch streamer because it made me so angry I just could not bear to have that disc in my life? No.
등신겜
The Last of Us Part 1 will always be one of my favorite games. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing this, but I beat it when I was 13. It was the first game I beat, blah 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 blah. So when I heard that they were making a sequel, I was so excited. Like, my whole world went. If I can add that, edit an explosion in there, I will. But I was so stoked to be able to get this, and I think that's what disappointed me the most about this game, is because I put such high expectations on this game and I relied on Neil Druckmann to deliver the same type of mind-boggling content that he did those 7 years ago. And boy, was I wrong. Here's your spoiler warning. Anything from here on out is going to be a spoiler. You have 5 seconds to click off this video. Okay, I'm going to start by touching on the bad and then I'll end it with the good, because if I touch on the bad last, then all you guys are going to be able to focus on is the bad of the game. Let's just get it on out of the park. I'm sure anyone that has played the game can all agree that it is a story, so that's going to be how I'm organizing it. I'm going to try and be in chronological order. The first 2 hours of playing the game, I was actually I was excited. The first scene where you see Joel and he's like reliving the past, I was like in such awe. But then I got bored. I got bored really fast and I didn't see enough Joel. He was only in it for like the first 10 minutes and then he was just gone. And then when we run into Joel again, it's when we're playing a different character. And this character is looking for somebody who crossed her. This new character, Abby, she runs into Joel, and this is where I really had to jot down my thoughts, because I will go way off if I don't read them right from here, exactly what I want to say. Joel's death. First off, it was a hard-hitting point of the movie. In the second part, nobody died before the main screen. It was all happy and lighthearted and fun, so I knew something was coming. I knew Joel was gonna die, but not in the way that he did. How Neil portrayed this was that Joel and Tommy are dumb. They saved this girl Abby, so Abby should feel some sort of something for them and not want to kill him, but they follow her back to her camp. Tommy and Joel are both bad guys. They're not good guys, they're not heroes, but we fell in love with them, so that's why we're gonna love them and we're still gonna want them to be alive and breathing. But Tommy says his actual name, and Joel says his actual name, and Tommy invites them to their camp. In what world would they go into a situation where they're cornered by all these people? The door they shut behind them, they shut it, and Tommy still offers, yeah, we have a camp. It's nicely armed, you can come through there and you can grab supplies. He would never do that in the first part. And Joel would have never said his name. He would have been very suspicious. It would not have let anybody get past him. But whatever, Druckmann, we'll just look past it. You probably just couldn't come up with a way for them to get in that situation without acting stupid. My next point is that it was gruesome. Very gruesome, very torture. It was torturous. It is something that I don't even know, like a side character would go through. Joel gets brutally shot in the leg with a shotgun. This shotgun, you see the whole leg? The hole in his leg? They tourniquet it, and then Abby gets out this golf club and starts gruesomely, torturously beating Joel up. And then when you're coming in as Ellie, you're hearing his cries of pain and screams. Ellie comes in, she's got a gun. Instead of shooting Abby as soon as she sees that he's hitting Joel, her father-like figure, no, she does not. She just walks on in like this and just lets her keep hitting him while she's got the gun pointed right to her face, just so that she gets ambushed and attacked by all the other people in the room. Tell me where that makes sense. If I was Ellie and I saw somebody beating up my father figure, my dad, my mom, my friend, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna immediately shoot them because I want them to be out of pain. Sure, she was shocked. I was shocked. But you know what? You pull that trigger. The thing that annoyed me, and I think most players most about this part, we all kind of knew that he was going to die in this part. It was all pretty much assumed that this was going to happen. What annoyed us is that we only saw him for 10 minutes in the first 2 hours of that boring gameplay, movie, cinematic, whatever you want to call it, and he's dead. That's what upset me. Another thing that I don't like is that it was 4 years after the fact that they finally found Joel, and she's still that angry to go ahead and pursue the kill, the gruesome beating of death. Just, I don't care. I don't care that he killed your father. You know why? It is sad. However, it's been 4 years. Joel saved your life. There's just no reason that she should have continued to kill him or have any hatred toward him at that point, at least in my opinion. Abby did not struggle once. Not once during that brutal beatdown. She did not hesitate. She did not stop. When Ellie came in, she looked and she went, that might be his daughter. Maybe I should stop. None of that. Nothing. She had no empathy, compassion, and even following that, she did not feel bad. I would feel so terrible torturing a person. And Ellie, through the rest of the game, anytime she did that with Nora or Mel or Owen or anybody, anytime she tortured somebody, she would get sick. She would feel sick. She would feel disgusted. She could not do that without having severe flashbacks. So Abby has no empathy whatsoever. Ellie will have PTSD for the rest of her life, and you see it in the thing that she has PTSD and she has to deal with that. Abby, I know her character will never, ever second guess that. Ever. Never feel bad. Her friends felt bad, but she didn't. Another example of Abby not caring is a scene. I will put it in right here if I can.
Stop! Stop! She had nothing to do with this. She's pregnant. Good.
It's in the brutal, like one of my favorite parts of the game, honestly, where Abby and Ellie are fighting. It's the first time they're fighting, and they're just going at it, and Abby's kind of kicking Ellie's rear, which wasn't good, but I made her die. Abby die several times so that Ellie could get her revenge. But the part where Dina comes in and is shot here, falls to the ground, she smashes her head over and over and over into the floor, Abby does, and then she's going to go slit her throat right in front of Ellie. Ellie pleads, "She's pregnant, please leave her out of this. She's done nothing wrong." And Abby just says, "Good," and proceeds to try and slit her throat. The pregnant lady's throat. And Lev, only Lev is the one that manages to tell Abby no. Otherwise, she would have done killed Dina, and that would have been the end of that. Circling back to Joel's death, this made players miserable, and this is where Neil really screwed up. If he brought him down in a better way, in a way like they were fighting, Joel jumped in the way to save Ellie or something, then we would feel bad, and then we'd be like, oh no, we gotta go kill this person. Maybe we would be more... I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to make us feel like we needed vengeance, and I got that from him, so I guess he got it. Good for you, Neil, you did it, but it made a lot of the players miserable and like we were lied to and cheated on, and just really upset to go ahead and play the rest of the game without Joel there. The next point I had that kind of annoyed me, not super bad, but still just like, They claimed that this was going to be more of an open world thing, but yet it was only in the first 2 to 3 hours of gameplay, and then just all of a sudden it just became a linear point. I honestly did not really enjoy the open world part. My second time playing through, because yes, I am playing this a second time because I want to torture myself, I enjoyed it a little bit more, but I also knew where I was going. But from Joel's death, they went right into this open world kind of boring generator. Go turn on the generators, go find the codes, and go input them. Like, okay game, you just want us to like that and just be like, oh, it's all good again. Pacing was a little off. I kind of throughout the whole entire game, and I feel like they could have placed different segments in better parts, but I'm not the game designer, so whatever. What you get is what you get, and you shouldn't throw a fit, but here I am throwing a fit. The reason I am touching on this open world stuff is because it was promised by the producers in their interviews and whatever, and that it would be more open world. And while the environments got bigger as the game progressed, they weren't open world anymore. Just in those first 2 to 3 hours, which honestly I'm good with. The next complaint I want to give is the trailers for the game. Things that I studied and analyzed and was like, okay, Joel is alive. We're gonna get to play a little bit with Joel. They're not gonna kill him off in the first 15 minutes of the game like they did with Sarah in the first game. And I was like really excited about it all. But they lied to us. They lied to us by making him look older than he even was in the game when he died. And they made him, like, there was this one scene, I'll put it in here, but where Ellie has her mouth covered and then she turns around and it's Joel and he's like, I'm not gonna let you do this on your own, or something like that. But guess what? It was Jesse there, and that also ticked fans off because of all the lying and all of that. It was just naturally assumed that Joel would be in the game, and he wasn't in the game. I'm not happy about it. So this game would probably be a lot better if there was one thing that was not included in this game. The 10 hours that you have to play as Abby is terrible. Simply because you are playing as Joel's character, and Naughty Dog is trying to manipulate you into feeling empathy and sadness for Abby. You know what? I do not care. You can show me her dad and them saving a zebra. You can show me throwing a ball to a dog. That's not going to cover up how she's non-empathetic. She's a crappy friend. And also, she loves to torture people. That's not going to change anything for me. She is an evil character to the T. Yes, it's very sad what happened to her dad, the surgeon, but it does not excuse her as a character. She's honestly just the embodiment of SpongeBob with muscles, and I don't know, I can't really fall in love with that type of character, especially when you have Ellie and you stop it right as Ellie is about to fight. But you have to play this boring, well, it's not really boring, but you have to play this 10 hours of gameplay where you're kind of entertained because some of the sections are more cooler and they have cooler zombies, especially this one zombie. But it's not the same. You want to go back to Ellie. You don't care about this chick. You don't care if she dies or if she lives. The only thing that you care about is getting through the part as fast as you can so you can get back to Ellie's part. Well, Naughty Dog tried to make her seem more likable by saving Lev and whoever the Seraphites or whatever that gang group is. That didn't make me like her more. That just made me be like, oh, I see you, Naughty Dog, trying to tell us that she's okay, but really she's not okay, and you're not gonna trick me. That's my whole mindset through that whole section, is you're not tricking me, Naughty Dog. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not falling for it, and honestly, I don't care what happens to Lev and them. Who cares? Does that make me seem like a bad person? It's a video game, whatever. But she is a crappy friend. Here's an example. Owen the whole time is a great person. He's there for her, he wants to go to the aquarium, he's in the aquarium, and all she's focused on is training. Training to be able to go kill Joel. Like, are you kidding me? Another thing is they took so long to tell us why Abby wanted to kill Joel, and that kind of just pissed me off and made me not want to play her even more, because when I found out I was already pretty set on hating her. So another thing I want to bring up is something that I saw on Twitter about the dogs not being able to be killed, and guess what? There is a segment where it is written into the game that you have to kill a dog. Like, you can sneak around all the dogs and not have to kill them if you want, and if that's how you want to play, but there is one part where you do have to kill Alice, which is Abby's dog, and that's another sneaky way that they were trying to make you feel bad for being Ellie and for killing Alice when it was scripted into the game. They even made you throw the dog toys twice so that you would feel even more sympathy for the dog. Another issue I have is with a certain scene in the middle of all this that was just super unnecessary. She was a crappy friend to Owen. Why throw in this stupid scene that made my video get flagged and not be able to be up? That just ticked me off on a personal level, and honestly, looking through the comments on Twitter, all this picture, seems like other people are really mad about it too. And I guess it's not allowed in video games or something, like it snuck past for this game. Thanks Sony, thanks Naughty God, thanks whoever who cleared that scene to go up, because now 5 hours and 30 minutes of my gameplay are gone. But honestly, it's for the better because nobody cares about Abby, and if she dies, so it's alright. So after that, she goes and hunts down Ellie, and that was pretty cool. I like that. But after that, I think it should have ended where right after Ellie got beaten down and Abby left her to live, and they went back and she had this new happy life with Dina and JJ, her baby. I think it should have ended there. I think it was perfect. I think it should have ended there. Did she get the vengeance that she wanted? No. But that should have been where Ellie learned to forgive her. She saved her life, even though she killed Joel, but she understood why. I think she understood why Abby had killed Joel. And I think she should have connected to that, held on to that, and been forgiving rather than doing what she decided to do next, which is a big complaint of mine. First off, Tommy peer pressured her, and I don't think that's in Tommy's character, honestly. But I don't know, I guess I didn't invent his character, so I can't much complain. Also, how the heck did Tommy survive that? I remember he got shot in the back of the head. Like, they don't have modern surgery and like medicine and stuff. At least I think they don't at their camp, but I guess I was wrong. But then Ellie decided to give up Dina and JJ, because Dina told her straight up, "We won't be here when you get back," and she was like, "I know," and left. I don't think that's in her character either. Why would she leave something good? Her family. It was her family. The whole premise of the first game is that she didn't want to end up alone, that she's lost so many people, so why would she go and just decide to go kill somebody and think that it would make everything better in her life when she just lost her most important family? Also, I just thought about something that I forgot to mention. In the first game, she was super witty. She was saying stuff like this, if I can edit it in, and stuff like this. Just going crazy, but in this game, she doesn't say really anything witty. Except for maybe in the snowball fight when she says, "Your mom doesn't love you." But other than that, her character just kind of seemed to change a lot, but I guess that was in 4 years. I guess you could argue that. My next bullet point is the final fight. In the final fight, her emotions are just 180ing all the time. Like, at first, she gets to this camp, which I loved this gang that they have in the last part where they had like the slaves and like the... I thought that gang was really cool, the rattlesnakes or whatever that faction was called. But then she goes and she talks to the slaves and they're like, "Oh, she's at the pillars." Why the heck would she cut her down, then in the next 1 minute decide to 180 and be like, "We're gonna fight to the death," and then the next 180, after getting her fingers bit off, these 2 fingers bit off, just be like, "Okay, you can go." go fast. Go. I'm gonna go meditate, sit crisscross applesauce in this water and just meditate. Who would do that? Neil tried to show forgiveness in those last parts, and I realized this after because while she is drowning her, there's this one scene that pops into her head, and we don't know what it is until the very, very end. It was Joel talking about forgiveness. So Neil tried to make this game about forgiveness. He attempted, but honestly, it was just so revenge-filled. It was just a revenge story from the beginning. And then they wait till the very, very end, last 5 minutes, to be like, oh, it's about forgiveness. And I don't think many players got that. So that's why everybody's like, oh, it's such a piece of art, when really it's not. They gave it to us too late in the game, and Ellie ends up alone. Ellie does not end up happy. And sure, he's normalizing it, but honestly, now I feel cheated for playing this game, and now when I play the first game, I'm always going to remember this, is that she still ends up alone. The saddest part of the whole game to me was when she went back to her house, and in that little art room, all that was left from when Dina and JJ had been there was her guitar. And she went to go play, and guess what? Since these 2 fingers were gone, she couldn't play what she wanted to play. It sounded off, and the only guess chords that she could hit were E. But you can't just play a song with 2 fingers, so that was the hardest part of that whole game to me, personally. Joel's death, I teared up. I didn't even cry. It happened so fast. I'm snowballing. I apologize. But the guitar was the only way that she could really connect with Joel, I feel like, and that was kind of just stripped away from her. By guess who? Abby. Once again, I hate Abby. I'm never gonna fall in love with her character. I hate her. If they make a DLC with her, I'm gonna be big annoyed. So I would like to go ahead and compare the first game to the last game before switching over to the good. Something that was bad when they transitioned games is they kind of lost the edge of the moment type of stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but there were those edge of seat moments where, like, in the first game there's this one part where he walks into one of Bill's traps, Joel does, and then he gets holstered up and hung upside down, and then he has to shoot all the clickers before they reach Ellie. That was an edge of seat moment. I don't remember having any of those edge of seat moments in this game. Maybe there was one, but there's nothing that really sticks in my brain. Like, I will forever remember that scene and being so scared that I'm gonna die, and then dying because I'm a terrible shot, but that's besides the point. The first game was about love. This game was about revenge. That's a given, and that's a thing that everybody is really upset about, so I wish there was more love in this game. There was a happy ending in the first game, but in the second game, it kind of felt meaningless. It didn't feel like it had any meaning to play. It's just there. It's not something that I would happily, like, rewatch or replay. But yet I am replaying it because there is a little bit of good. But I believe that they need to make a DLC. I really do. Simply because there is so much left to talk about, to cover, to kind of close it. And this can be Neil's redeeming part. But honestly, with all the hate that the game's been getting, I honestly don't know. Like, here's the score from the time I post this. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it's good. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't good still. Now that we have talked about all the bad, and I am way into this video, we're gonna touch on some of the good things, which my list is only this big, but you know, it's still good to talk about because it's also a big part of the game. But also it's mixed in with all the bad, and it actually makes the game worth playing again, which is why I am replaying it on Survivor Plus right now. First off, I loved the stealth in this game. I loved the bigger environments. It gave us more to play with. I loved the grass. I loved just everything about it. I thought the dogs were a great touch. Were they something that I was like, oh yay, when I saw? No, but it actually made it a little bit more challenging, and I like that. One thing though about the stealth is that when you switch to Abby, this big muscular lady, all of a sudden she's too good to have a knife. So you have to make shivs for clickers? Like, why does everybody except for Ellie need a shiv? Why is Ellie the only smart person to carry around a knife? Please let me know about that. Another cool part that I really liked about the game, and I didn't catch on till like the very end of my gameplay, is that you can actually shoot people's legs off. And that was really cool for some reason to me. I was like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen this really in a video game before. A third really great thing is that the combat was always great in this game. I loved how they kept the gameplay, the gunplay, whatever you call it, the same from the first game, and it just felt upgraded. I loved that. I really, really did. Because I loved how simplistic it was, and I know some people did not like the simplicity of the first game and the gameplay, the gunplay, but honestly, that's how I like to play my games. I like a simple gun system, but they added like the dodge and all that stuff, and that's pretty cool. Survivor Plus though, I'm finding out it's way harder to dodge. My fourth point is that it was stunning gameplay for the most point. It was a very pretty game, almost like a movie. Everybody can agree with that. However, there was some like tweaking that they did, but I was like, is that actually better than the first game? I'll put it up here if I can on the screen. But yeah, there was this one point where Ellie in the first game looked way better, in my opinion, than in the second game. The second game she looked more animated and more teary-eyed, but maybe they meant for her to look teary-eyed. The fifth thing I'm going to touch on is a thing that doesn't really affect me, but something that I found really cool. There's a colorblind mode, and that is very cool because I don't know exactly how colorblind people really see games, but there are different modes. You can change the colors, change the atmospheres. They have a custom mode, that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do with like the game design, and I like that. The seventh thing that I'm going to touch on is by far my favorite thing about this game. And I saved it for last because this is what the game was all about to me. It was about Joel and Ellie's relationship from the beginning for me. So I loved that they had the flashbacks with Joel, like the little dinosaur park, that was amazing, and him telling her that she's immune. I loved every single second of that, and that would just make me tear up in just pure happiness because they did get to spend some time together, and he was that father figure for her. And he did come clean about the whole lie hoax thing. And another thing, while I'm thinking about it, is I'm so glad that they took out the pallets in this game and she learned how to swim. That was such a cute flashback with Joel, and I'm glad that they showed us how to swim with Joel. That was just so cute and one of my favorite moments of the whole entire game. But of course, all of those are words, and honestly, people are just here to hear my specific score if anybody is here, so let me go ahead and tell you that I have struggled a lot with trying to figure out a score. At my lowest point in the game, I probably would have rated it a 4, to be honest. But then again, at my highest point, I would have rated the game maybe an 8. So in between that is a 6. But with 7 being the average, I don't think it was a less than average game, but I also don't think it was an above average game. So I'm going to score it at the very middle of the road type of score with a 6.5. If the story was better, I loved the combat. I loved everything about the combat. If the story was better though, this would have definitely and easily been an 8 or a 9. But Neil Druckmann was very ambitious in this attempt, very risky. He knew he had to have known that he was taking a risk with this. And I've heard things online like Amy and this other dude left Naughty Dog, and ever since then it's never been the same. Maybe that's part of the issue because he collaborated with them on the first game, but it's out of our hands now. I know that they're making a TV show. I'm excited to see that. And hopefully they just completely forget about the second sequel. I hope they just trash it, but I'm sure it won't be. I'm sure it'll be second season. Honestly, I'm just most disappointed with how the story went and how now when I replay the first game, this is what I will have to remember. But like I said, I am replaying this on Survivor Plus, so it is replayable. I don't think a lot of people are going to be replaying it, honestly. But I am replaying it. I'm trying to get over the fact with how bad the story is. And after the first couple times, don't know what you're gonna say. Don't call me crazy. But after the first 2 times that you watch Joel's death, it doesn't really affect you anymore. You're just like, that sucks. But it's not really any affecting thing. Whereas when Sarah dies, every time I'm just tearing up and so sad. But Joel's death wasn't sad. Or maybe I'm just not as much as a crybaby anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop rambling now. I've talked a lot today. I've been through a lot. Just rethinking about everything. Because my first video, it was 45 minutes long. It was a long one. But then I watched 5 minutes of it and I was like, yeah, this is trash. And I deleted it. So hopefully this one's better, and hopefully this wasn't super boring for you to watch. I don't think I'm going to be doing gameplay anymore, or if I'm even going to be continuing. Like I said, I just created this channel to get my first reactions to The Last of Us Part 2. To do Last of Us Part 1, maybe Left Behind, which I didn't get to. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see how bored I get. And then my Last of Us 2 reaction. Which, this is my reaction. This is my rant to you, and I have honestly fulfilled everything I wanted to. But that doesn't mean that I don't have stories that I might want to share on here, so go ahead, subscribe if you would like, and I will see you in another video or in real life. If you're my friends, if you're not my friends, please stay away from me. I don't want no stalker. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in another video. How does a YouTuber do their last video? Thanks for watching. Go ahead and leave your own personal views and thoughts in the comments, whether you agreed with me or you didn't agree with me. And I will see you guys in the comments, see you guys in the likes, maybe see you in another video. We shall see. Only time will tell. Bye bye.